Heilige Yaris Tvash. We'll start off today with the Heilige Yaris Tvash. Listen to what he says. He says like this. Yudi, you ready for this one? He says like this. He says, there are people, you know some of these people. Right? The Olam knows some of these people. There are people on Shabbos Kodesh that wear black clothing. There's a Sache in the Welt, right? People that wear black clothing. You know such people? There are such people, right? Zog the Heilige Yaris Tvash. Those people that wear black clothing on Shabbos Kodesh. Meister Satan who? Also steht the Yaris Tvash. Pashat Meister Satan. Is the Meister Satan? Except is Meister Satan black clothing? So he says very simple. He says the pshat is because a person on Shabbos could be over in the Issa of Melaben much easier when he's wearing black clothing than when he's wearing white clothing. When you're wearing white clothing, it doesn't get dirty as much as when you're wearing black, because black gets much more dusty. Which leads us to today's Shaila. And that is as follows. Until now, what's that? Listen to this. Until now, we have been discussing a beged that becomes dirty from dirt mamish. And it becomes absorbed in the beged. And I want to take it out with water, with squeezing, with scrubbing, whatever. There's another sugya, by the way, that we haven't discussed yet, and that is a sugya if you get like a chunk of something on your sleeve and you want to take it off and scrape it off. That we'll talk about, right? It could be a shayla of toichin, it could be a shayla Melaben. We'll get you from any direction, don't you worry. Anyway, Aaron, over here we're dealing with the machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, okay? As a machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, what's the machlokes Aaron Dov? What's the machlokes? The machlokes is Tuli, very simple. Do we say that Melaben is only on a stain that goes into the beged that makes the beged dirty? Or is Melaben also on dust? And just like if you have a bit of dust, someone take a shoe, put it onto your sleeve, you're going to make a footmark there with dust. So you can't really consider that there's a stain on your beged. It's not really, there's a stain. There's dust over there. Is that included in Melaben or not? Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. Tosfos holds what? Frame. Tosfos holds what? Simcha. Tosfos holds that it's? That what? Teiku. No, not Teiku. Tosfos holds Tuli. Tosfos holds what? No, it's a machlokes. What does Tosfos hold? Tosfos hold allowed. Ben, Gvaldik, candy for you. Okay. Rashi comes along the Heilige Rashi, and Rashi says it's Osa. Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. What do we do? Lemaisa. So we have to look at Shulchan Aruch and Ramah and Seven Shin Beis and see what we do. Do we pass like Rashi? Do we pass like Tosfos? The Ramah, for the Sfardim out there, listen carefully. The Ramah paskins like Shitas Rashi, which means the Ramah paskins that if your beged has dust on it, to remove that dust as an Issa Pashtus Da'araisa of Melaben. That means, how easy can a person get some dust on his yarmulke, on his pants, on his sleeve, on his nice fancy suede shoes, and on Shabbos he just gives it a brush off, go like this. According to Rashi, it's an Issa D'Oraisa. How many people on Shabbos do this without even Chappos? The Heilige Yaris Tvash. You wear black clothing on Shabbos? Meister Satan. People that wear black clothing on Shabbos. Meister Satan. As I state. Now, comes on Rabbi Toledano, and he says, that's very nice, but that's the Ramah. And says Rabbi Toledano, Bet Yosef, right? Ben, Bet Yosef, Sfaradi. We're Mekel, aren't we? Okay, let's have a look. So, Lamaisa like this, Rabbi Isai. So we have a very clear Ramah, that the Ramah paskins like Shitas Rashi, that it's Osa. By the way, it's not only the Ramah, just in case you didn't believe me, it's also the Bach. Like, listening? It's the Bach, the Heilige Bach from Meshbish. The Bach from Meshbish, you know the Bach, right? The Bach, okay? The Heilige Chovetz Chaim Schos von Jugend Aleini from Radin, okay? And also, by the way, it's a Marshal and the Levush and the Trumas Hadesh and the Bach and the Knesset Gdolim, Chayodom, the Shulchan Aruch, the Shulchan, the Kavachim, the Avstoyer, Knesset Shulchan as well. They're all paskin, like Shitas Rashi, like the Ramah, that it's Asa. Says Rabbi Toledano, that's very nice, but I am a Sfaradi. So I will tell you that also, even though the Shulchan Aruch says, well, we didn't bring this down, Shulchan Aruch didn't bring down the Ramah, Shulchan Aruch didn't bring down Shitas Rashi to be choshesh for dust, so what's going to be? Comes along Comes along the Kaf HaChaim and the Ben Ishchai and Chacham Ben Tzin Abba Shaul and Ola Tzion Chelet Bet, that they say that Lamaisa, we're choishes for this, we're dealing with the Doraisa. We're dealing with the Doraisa, Svaradim also have to be makbid on this Gavaldig Halacha. So what comes out Lamaisa, and this is very important, Rabbi say, I'm telling you guys are Gavaldig because you're here, you know these halachas. You're going to walk on the streets, don't do it, don't look at other people because you'll see that Chas v'Shalom, these people don't know halachas, right? And therefore, Asher, where are you? Tosfos in? Levamas. Beautiful. Oh, you get candy for that one. Nah, okay, it was my throat, it wasn't the catch, don't worry. My fault. I won't join the team. Not that it will make a difference. Okay. Anyway, the point is that a person has dust on his jacket, he has it on his clothing, he has it on his shoes, his yarmulke, whatever. To take off that dust is pashtus and issa d'oraisa. Right? That means we take the fellow, what do we do to him? Take him off the local cliff of Ephraim, throw him down, pelt him with stones. Kavaldik. Okay, that's what we do, machala, to such a guy. Right, such a guy, you see him going like this on Shabbos, his chayv skill is a mitzvah to kill the guy. Push it, mitzvah to kill the fellow. Are you with me? Okay, good. Now, the question is, what's that? Well, I don't know. It could be on purpose that he didn't come to halacha sheh, and therefore he doesn't know. Could the Pri Megadim holds that he's a posheya? I don't know. We have to. That's not honest. He had an opportunity to learn an halacha sheh. Well, I guess it depends which yeshiva he went to. Anyway, Rabbi said, let's move on. I'm getting to your question. That's a Gavaldige Kasha. Beautiful. Aaron, that's a Gavaldige Kasha. Rabbi said, let's move on. What does it mean that a person has a stain on his beged? So the Gemara goes through, which we're not going to go through now in the details of beged chodosh, beged yashon, and if it's white and if it's black and whatever. But the pashtus is like this: if you are the Be'alacha says it clearly, if you are makbid on the item, meaning if you would not go out wearing it in this way, that's called your makbid. Mimela, if you're makbid, then when that means that it's dirty on there. That means when I clean it off, I did an act of Melaben. Masha'ein kain. If it's a small little stain that doesn't bother me, and I have no problem going out this way, then what? Then that's not called your makbid. Mimela, the cleaning of that item is not considered to be an act of Melaben, of kibbutz, of cleaning, because it wasn't dirty to begin with. Horai, I'd go out that way. So they asked the kasha. First of all, Aaron had a Mordecai kasha. In fact, Aaron like this. He asked the kasha, what about blowing it? What about like that? So Rab Nissim Karedet said, "Sal Paskins Aloch Alamaisi." Look it up in Chotroni. He says it's mutter. Why? Because anything that comes out with a is not really absorbed inside. What we're saying over here is that the dust is absorbed in the beged, so much so that it's got a din of a stain because it has absorbed and ruined the fabric of the beged, and it's just like a regular stain, which means that taking it out is Melaben, it's cleaning. So only if I'm makbid. If I'm not makbid, then it's mutter. Now let me ask the Olam Shaila. Okay, the Be'alacha declares the Shaila also. Chofetz Chaim. What happens? Who do we go by? Who's makbid? The one who's doing the action, or the person that owns the beged? Okay, what's the din? I'll give you an example. I asked this example that guy. I got a Shlita. I asked him, what happens? I'm not makbid. Nah, I don't care. I'll walk around with it. It doesn't bother me slightest. Oh, I'm going to the shviga for the sida. Now I'm going to the shviga. Now l'maisa, I can't walk into the shviga in azazach. Come on, I can't walk in the shviga with a sleeve like this. Oh, what's she going to say to me? You know, what type of son-in-law did I pick over here? No, clean this. So I'm not makbid, but she is. So I'm cleaning it for her, not for me. Is that called kibbutz, or is it not kibbutz? Is that Melaben or not Melaben? What's that? Again, it's Shalbayis Mutar, candy. Gavaldik. The Maisa, Rabbi Zul Orbach told me, and Rav Falk, also Zatzal, said the same thing. That's not called makbid. I'm not makbid. I'm only cleaning it because she's makbid, or somebody else. Let's say you're doing it for your wife, right? Rav Dessler was known that before Rav Dessler came into his home and he went to his wife, he made sure to clean himself up, he made sure his tie was straight, made sure everything was good. And they said, Rebbe, like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, like you're so makbid? He said, no, not for me. For my wife. I'm coming home, I want to make sure I'm respectable for my wife, right? So the Maisa, so they asked the kasha the same thing. I'm not makbid, but my wife is going to walk in with a last stain, right? It's not nice. So I'm not makbid. For example, they ask another kasha, what happens if you see a guy with a stain? He's got dust on his sleeve. Now you know that he's a choshviyit, he knows the halachas, Baruch Hashem, he's sitting in the yeshiva, so versteht sich, he knows all the halachas, right? Because what else do you do in the yeshiva? And the Maisa, he has a stain over there, and he cannot take it off because he's makbid. So I'm not makbid, can I take it off? I'm not makbid, I don't care. Can I take off his stain? Do we go by the Bal HaBeged or the Bal HaMaisa? You hear the kasha? Makbid means I have no problem walking around with a stempel of dust on my sleeve. I'm not makbid, I'll do it.
But I'm saying, how could you say by didn't the rights, how could you say you're makbid or not makbid?
Because the hagdorah of Melaben has to be that there's a cleaning. There's only a cleaning when there's a stain, when there's a problem. If you are not makbid, it means it's such a small amount, it's nothing to you. So the act of cleaning over here is not a real act of cleaning. Also, remember, we have a Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, which we started with today. Good, we paskin like Rashi, but there is Tosfos who's chaylik on that. The Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring even Rashi, Ramah does, and everybody else as well. But I'll upon him about we have a Machlokes, plus we're dealing with something that you're not makbid on. It's not called a Ma'aseh Kippus. It's not called a Ma'aseh Kippus. It's not called a cleaning if there's nothing dirty there, Bachlal. We made it the kasha is Rabbi said we're still stuck on this kasha. What if you're not balabeged? Asher says balabeged. Anyone's masking with that one? You're not masking.
You said you're allowed to clean it the first time because she's makbid, but the Baal Beged is not. So you can't have it both ways.
Wow, is that London? Wow. Rabbi say that's more than a candy. That's like, I don't know, Rodriguez or something. I don't know. That's like, whoa.
You said it, not me.
I know. Rabbi say Asher saying Gavaldik. The poskim say that it goes by the Bala Beged. It means if the Bala Beged is makbid, you can't go over to him and scrub it off. By the way, the halachos would be over here. What happens? Everyone knows the famous Meiser, right? Someone came to go to Rav Moshe's Zatzel, and they said, Rebbe, I have a problem with my hat. There's dust. It fell on the floor. It's got dust all over it. You know, Shabbos Kodesh, not nice. Kovet Shabbos, whatever. Zuk Rav Moshe, just the rest of Kovet Shabbos in the ganze Welt, right? To have a stain that you're not taking off because of Shabbos Kodesh, that's Kovet Shabbos. Moedik, right? That's Gavaldik. Until you get to the Shviga. Anyway, what?
There's another issue of separation.
What do you mean?
It becomes part of the beggar.
It becomes part of the beggar because it's absorbed inside. Like the iron said, if you go and it comes off, that's okay because obviously it means it wasn't absorbed enough. Now we are going to discuss, by the way, which we haven't got to. We're going to have to discuss if I have a stain, I got a piece of chulent, for example, a bean, whatever, on the sleeve, and I have to scrape it off on Shabbos without water, no water, right? Just watch it, scrape it off. That could be a shayla of Melaben and Toichin as well, all at the same time. So we'll have to get to that. But that's a very important thing. Rabbi say, there are two ways that would be makel for a person, even if he's makbid, to take off a stain of dust on his hat, on his shoes, on his yarmulke, on his pants, whatever it may be. Heter number one, which the poskim don't love, but they say if you really need to cover that brias, whatever, you could do it with the shinoi. But the best heter really is asking a goy. Even though asking a goy generally we're not allowed, right? There's a halacha that amira la'akim is a shvus. The Gemara tells that in a few places for the Zohar and Shabbos, whatever, and therefore Reisha involved. Therefore the halacha is you can't ask a goy to do something that you yourself can't do. But over here, some different heterim cover that brias. The Mishnah Berurah over here is making in this case. By the way, there is a makor over here for the Heilige Tishbakisha. Over here, right over here in Simon Shin Base. Where's the Makar? Mishnah Berurah brings down two things. He says, because of this halacha, make sure, number one, when you put your hat away, put it in a place that's not going to get dusty and dirty, because otherwise you're going to have problems. And number two, when you take a child on your lap, make sure you put a piece of cloth or something in between that is a chatzitza, there's a separation, because if the child drops something and it get dirty, you're going to want to clean it, you're going to get a taiva to want to clean it, but made it all sorts of problems. I find that this Mishnah Berurah is probably the makar for the Tishbakisha. The Ma'aseh, as I state, when you take the kids on the lap, you've got to have a separation over there, right? So you have something to separate over there, right? Chaim Shulim, you mask him?
Pick up the Tishbakisha.
If you pick up the Tishbakisha, they may have problems. I hear. That's a good shayla. Now, Rabbi say, moving on very quickly, just a couple of interesting things. And that is, what about dandruff? What happens if a person has dandruff around, the collar area of his jacket or something? And he's got like white speckles everywhere, and he wants to give it azar, and he wants to give it azar shake, right? Is that okay, or is that also Melaben? So the poskim say that dandruff really is resting on the top. It's not absorbed inside. If it's not absorbed inside, it's not a problem with Melaben. And therefore, again, Rabbi said, today's shayla, by the way, is something that I believe. You walk around Eretz Yisrael, you'll see people sitting in koilol for years and years, haven't got a clue these halachos, and they're being over in Isur Doraisis every single Shabbos. So, Baruch Hashem, you guys know because you guys came. But there's another thing, by the way, we have to add. And this is not something again here in Eretz Yisrael, but it's not again in Chutz La'aretz. If you have carpet, right? Anyone has carpet in Chutz La'aretz? They have carpet? The Olim has carpet? They've got Mochel, you have carpet, yeah?
So many.
But they made it in Gateshead yet? It came out yet? It came out.
Gateshead gets stuff later in the year.
I don't know. Anyway, the point is like this. When you eat, for example, Seder night, this is a Gavaldik Shayla. You eat the matzah on Seder night. Can I know that after Seder night, you know what the floor looks like, right? After Seder night? The matzah is all over the place. The matzah is all over the place, right? Are you allowed to clean it up? Are you allowed to sweep the carpet? Forget about using a carpet sweeper, one of those fancy things that have the rollers in it. This child of Uvdin, the whole Korea with the strands that are coming out. I don't know, I'm not getting into that. I have no idea if you look at Minchas Yisrael Chelik Zayin, talks about it over there. But I'm talking about taking a broom and sweeping the carpet so that the crumbs that are on the fabric, that are in between, is that mutter? So the halacha is like this. People don't chap this. Rabbi said people don't know this. That if the carpet is such that the strands are not just resting on the top, for example, if it's a really good trodden on carpet, it's just like a plain piece, and therefore everything's resting on the top, that's fine. But we're talking about where it's good fresh, it's a good carpet, right? Good geshmaka carpet, and the crumbs are intertwined between the strands, so then you have a problem. If you are makbid, if you wouldn't bring somebody into your house that way, so to clean the carpet on Shabbos or Yom Tov would be an Issa Da'oraisa, according to Rashi, the Ramon, other Gedolei Poskim of Melaben, which a person has to be careful, right? Because you're cleaning something on Shabbos. People don't even chap. Who chap that when they sweep the carpet after a Seder night, after a Kiddush, something, whatever, that I'm over Melaben. But Baruch Hashem that we're here, Baruch Hashem that we know. Let's be makbid and make sure we know the halachas, so we keep the halachas, and Be'ez Hashem keep Shabbos Kodesh. Tomorrow we'll continue b'siyata d'shmaya.
It's the same halacha when it comes to like shalom bayis. In this case, when I have garbage on my carpet and my wife wouldn't let anyone in, am I allowed to clean it up for